That's what I'm talking about. Hello everybody, Outer Galaxy Lounge here on the 9th of August 2024 already. Well anyway, I've got a lovely beverage here. As you know, David Letterman always recommended these. Any beverage will do. So that was just water. So anyway, today I took my sister over to a car repair garage, actually so she could pick up her car. They didn't quite fix it, but that's another story. But it was near the Half Price bookstore, right across the parking lot from where she was. So once I dropped her off, I went to Half Price. Now this Half Price bookstore, recently in the last month, a month and a half, has really had nothing. It's been depleted. The clearance was utter trash. I've been continually disappointed the last few weeks going over to this store. However, today it was a different story altogether. This, in fact, was probably the greatest jazz haul of CDs I've ever gotten. I had to leave some at the store. There were too many, but I got a lot. I probably got the bulk of the really good stuff. They were $1 a piece, $1. I got 38 discs, $38. With the discount applied, it was $34. And let's just go through it because it's a lot of stuff. Now, a lot of these names you may not know. I don't know some of them. Some of these guys and gals I already have in my collection one way or another, sometimes as headliners, headlining the disc, or sometimes as session players on the disc. All this is first class material. Anyway, there's no particular order. I just buffed and cleaned every one of these discs. We've got the Steve Heckman Quintet, Search for Peace. I'm going to have to put my glasses on for these because I can't see shit. This is on Jazzed Media 2014. There's some, I hope you can see that. There's some standards on here like Autumn in New York, Spiral, Panonica, Search for Peace by McCoy Tyner, and some possibly originals on here. No, I think most of these are covers. Vernon Duke, Coltrane, Thelonious Monk, etc., Randy Weston. This is a sax guy. It looks like, well, it's a quintet, so there's 5 people. It's going to be great. You can already tell. Next, we've got Reza Bassi Acoustic Quartet, an album called Intents and Purposes. This is on the Enja Records label, 2015. We got another bunch of jazz standards on this. You got Joe Zawinul and Herbie Hancock, Pat Martino, John McLaughlin, Chick Corea, Billy Cobham, and Larry Coryell, and Tony Williams pieces on this. And let's see, Reza Bassi is he's on a guitar. He's a guitarist, and he's got, it looks like 5 players on this. Again, 2015 Enja Records, $1. Not something you're going to run across every day. Absolutely the kind of stuff I love. So we got a well-known name here, Kenny Garrett. This is Do Your Dance. This is on, man, I need a better light. Hold on, guys and gals. That's one way to do it. Let's see. You know, the print on these things is really small. 2016 Mack Avenue Records. I guess I'll keep that over here. I don't know, that's not very convenient. Mack Avenue Records. He's holding a sax there. It doesn't really say, it's hard to see who the players are on this. It's not abundantly clear. I'll have to take the booklet out. Hold on, here's a fold. Okay, yeah, we got Kenny on alto, and we got some guys on piano, bass, and drums, and there's some quintets and quartets on here. It's going to be great stuff, absolutely. There's the disc. Absolutely fantastic find for $1. All right, next. This is Gloria Estefan, or Estefan, or Estefan. I've heard it both ways through the years. I always like Gloria, no matter what she's doing, even if it's the old Miami Sound Machine stuff from the 80s, or her Latin-only albums. That's some of my favorite stuff that she's done. And this is an album of Tin Pan Alley standards, jazz standards. It's called The Standards. So I'm sure she's doing like Cole Porter and all that stuff on here that people tend to do, especially when they get older. They can't take that away from me. What a difference a day makes, etc. I've grown accustomed to your face. So you got your Broadway stuff. There she is, looking all elegant. You can never go wrong with Gloria. That's probably the most conventional thing I've got in here, but it was one I didn't have, and I have most of her stuff at this point. Joe Alterman, Georgia Sunset. Joe Alterman's a pianist. This is on the on his own label. Got a pretty prominent cast on here, including Houston Person on tenor saxophone. So not shabby at all. Looks like there's some standards on this. Snake Eyes, blah, blah, blah. That's by Houston Person. Not sure. What else? He's got, it looks like a quintet on this. No, it's a quartet. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter. It's rare stuff that you're not going to run across. When did that come out? Hold on. Recorded 2013 in Parnassus, New Jersey. Cool. Nick Finzer Exposition. Finzer's looks like a trombonist. He's got a quintet with him here. This was recorded 2012. So this is all newish stuff. This is on inside outside music or in outside music. Not sure. It's gonna be great. Everything's $1, remember. This is Rex Richardson and Steve Wilson, an album called Blue Shift on Summit Records. Now Summit's a very reliable jazz label. I don't think you could see it. It's a very dark cover. There's kind of a trumpet there on the back. Looks like Yamaha sponsored this session. It's a quintet. You got Rex Richardson on trumpet, Steve Wilson on alto sax, and a couple of 2-3 other guys on here. I mean, it's going to be professional class stuff. Jack Kerouac, Pull My Daisy, and Other Jazz Classics with the David Amran Quartet. This is on Premier Records. This one came out in '95, so this is a little bit older. Pull My Daisy was the subject of a famous kind of a documentary film back in around 1960 about the beat guys, the Beat Generation. Kerouac and etc. et al. This is basically just standards with the Amran Quartet. You got Loverman and Take the A Train and Summertime, Tennessee Waltz, Blue Monk by Thelonious Monk. Looks very promising, and Amran is a multi-instrumentalist. He plays all kinds of stuff, and he's got 4 other people on there with him. So that's going to be quite interesting, I think. We got John McMurtry's Art of Breath Volume 2. This is on Flat Car Fantana Records. I guess Flat Car 2018, and then Fontana is also on here, which is a well-known label. A bunch of players on here. It looks like about 10 players on this. John McMurtry is a tenor sax player, clarinetist, and flutist. And a shit ton of other people on this. There's a very nice disc inside. I've cleaned all these. They feel brand new. Some of them are a little bit dirty on the outside, and some of them were a bit scratched. I buffed them on the buffing wheel. They're as good as new now. This is Pete Malinverni on an album called Emerging Markets. This is on Glass Beach Jazz, recorded 2015, released 2015. He's got 5 people on here with him. He's a pianist, composer, and arranger. So that ought to be fun. Lucas Pino or Pino, No Net, No Net. This, I've got another album that he's on in here. He's a tenor sax player. There's a bunch of other people on this, about 9 players on this thing. So it's going to sound pretty big and swinging, I think. Very promising. There they all are, if you can see that. And there he is playing the sax. So, excellent stuff. My cup of tea. So let's see, we got Dwayne Eubanks Quintet, things of that particular nature. This is from 2014, Sunnyside Communications Records. I don't know, is Dwayne Eubanks a brother of Kevin Eubanks? I'm not sure. I'm sure some of you do. I'm sure it's fine. Looks first class. We got John Fedchuk Quartet Live Fluidity. This is also on Summit Records. The Summit Records covers a lot of times they're pretty dark. It's hard to see. I don't know with the glare if it's going to show up at all. But there's the disc. We got 9 tracks on this. This came out in 2015, it looks like. He's a jazz trombonist, and he's got a crack ensemble here, so it's going to sound magnificent, absolutely. Sharantha Bedage, Identity. This is on Addo Records. It looks like it's out of Canada, 2012. I don't know what his instrument is. He's a baritone sax and bass clarinet player, and he's got 5 other guys on here. All compositions by him. That can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing. I tend to like to buy jazz albums where there are at least some standards on there so that you know they can play familiar tunes, and at least you'll have something to grab onto, because sometimes you're not familiar with their compositions, and sometimes the self-compositions on these things can get a little wild and maybe a little atonal, and I don't want that necessarily. So when I see that they're doing a standard or two, I'm like, okay, at least this is going to be kind of grounded jazz and I can dig it. This is Vanderlei Pereira and Blindfold Test, Vision for Rhythm. This looks Brazilian. It's 2012 Jazz Heads. Jazz Heads, a very reliable CD jazz label. I've gotten a lot of great jazz off Jazz Heads. There's some Brazilian type titles on this. And some English, but it looks like it's going to be a Latin jazz thing, and that's what I love. That's my favorite thing. And I don't know what he's playing, but he's on drums on all tracks and percussion, and he's got quite a number of players on this. So that's Vanderlei Pereira. Awesome. Al Muirhead, It's About Time. So It's About Time and is a well-known piece. We got Stardust, A Night in Tunisia. He's got a quintet here. This is on, I can't read it, Chronograph Records. Another recent release, I'm sure. These are all new stuff. 2014. So he's a trumpet player, and he's got a bunch of other people on here. This is Canadian. This is Canadian jazz. It's going to be awesome. Mark Wingfield on this, Proof of Light. This is on Moon June Records from 2015. And let's see what we can find out about him. Not a lot. There's a lot of text here, and I don't see the players. Oh, he's a guitarist. That's good. I like guitar jazz very much. It's a trio. He's got a bass player and a drums player on here. Mark Wingfield, Proof of Light. Going to be awesome. And, oops, I'm drawing out of the wrong bag. The wrong box, sorry. This is on Zoha Records, or Zoho Records. It's a nice cover. Now, this is the Miami Jazz Project. Arthur Barron, well known, Dave Liebman, and Abel Pabori. Abel Pabon. And it looks like they got 6 people here. Sextet, or is it 7? Septet, right? There's 7 people in this session. It looks really good. I mean, it's got a beautiful cover on it. And there you go. This, finding stuff like this for $1, I mean, this is like a dream come true, really. You know, sometimes I have dreams where I find money on the sidewalk. This was like that for me today. It was almost too much. I was like, oh my God, will it end? Will this lot end? Because this is more money than I normally spend. But thankfully, it's only $1 a piece, and this stuff's going to be good, I can tell. Alex Norris Organ Quartet, Extension Deadline. He's got a quartet of people here, and I can't say I recognize the pieces on here. They may be originals. This is from 2015. It's on BJU Records. File under jazz. No shit, Sherlock. There we go. Gonna be great. And I like some swinging organ stuff once in a while. There's some great albums in that subgenre of jazz. Tim Warfield on saxophone, tenor sax, and a bunch of other guys on this. Recorded 2013. This album is called what? Inspiration? No, Inspire Me. Inspire Me. And it is on HHM Records 2013. Recorded in New York City. It's going to be awesome. What can I say? Nielsen Mata and Ron Ben-Hur with Victor Lewis and Cafe Mojave. This is on Motema Records 2011, as best I can read. This is Latin jazz. Looks like it might be Brazilian. Caranuso, yeah, it looks Brazilian. Samba de Veloso by Baden Powell. Yeah, and I got a Antonio Carlos Jobim song on here. So yeah, this is going to be up my alley big time. Some Brazilian jazz with a quartet of guys on here, it looks like. Absolutely awesome. Andy Galore, Out and About. He's a guitarist. He's playing a Thelonious Monk, no, Charles Mingus piece on here, Goodbye Pork Pie Hat, and a bunch of other things. This is another Motema Records label release, 2014. And there's the disc. Nice skyline view there. Gives you an idea of what kind of music you're getting into. Nice night jazz, which is my thing. Bob Stewart Connections, Mind the Gap, the double quartet. 2014 Sunnyside Communications Records. I get a lot of things from them, and I've already shown you a few from them in here. There's the disc. Looks like about 6 or 7 guys on this. We got a violinist in this one as well. And Bob Stewart's a tuba player, so that'll be nice. That'll add a little diversity to our mix here. Another BJU Records release from 2014. This is Nathan Parker Smith, Not Dark Yet. I can't read the design. Okay, BJU Records, Nathan Parker Smith, Not Dark Yet. And there it is, the disc. What does he play? It's the Nathan Parker Smith Large Ensemble, so I guess he's leading it. I don't know, it doesn't have him on an instrument here. There's a lot of people on this. This is a big band. And also, again, we've got, looks like Nick Finzer shows up again on this one. Golly, there's a lot of people on this. This is going to sound magnificent. Wow. Excellent. All right, and here's the one that was in the thumbnail. This is called Al Hood and the H2 Jazztet Jazz Muses on Aquarian Records. This is from 2019. Very new. There they are playing. Al Hood's a trumpel and flugelhorn player, and there's a bunch of other guys on here, 5 other guys. There's the disc. Folds out quite a bit. Nice cover. Very nice. Very attractive cover. And we got, and this is, I said Aquarian Records. Yeah. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that really deepens my jazz collection. You know, no, this is not Miles Davis. It's not Charlie Parker. It's not Thelonious Monk. It's not all the guys that you'll hear people talk about 10 million times. This is the stuff I look for, because I've already got all the albums by the greats. I'm looking for the guys who are playing now. That's what I want to hear. Jazz is a living art. And a lot of guys who cover jazz on YouTube and show records, they show the same records. It's always Dave Brubeck. It's always Miles Davis. I'm like, I almost get mad. It's like, dude, do you guys realize that there's new jazz out there and it's as great as anything that's ever been done? That's what this stuff is. Okay, Tango Caliente, the J. D'Amico Quintet, original compositions here. 2012 Consolidated Artist Productions. 5 guys, it's a quintet. J. D'Amico is a pianist, or J. D'Amico, excuse me. And this is going to be Tango Caliente, so we're going to have kind of a nice Latin flavor to that, and I am all for that every day of the week. Marilyn Crispell Trio Storyteller on ECM, the venerable ECM label, which always has quality material, both in the classical, contemporary classical, and jazz realms. This is a trio. Marilyn Crispell is on piano. I'm sure that, and Paul Motian is on this, on drums. Cool, a veteran. So this was released in 2004. So this is a 20-year-old album. I'll be torn on this as to whether to keep or sell it, because ECM material really sells well on eBay for me. Depends on how good it is. Jerry Bergonzi, Rigmarole. He is a, he's a sax player, tenor sax player, Jerry Bergonzi. He's got 5 people with him, a quintet. This is on Savant Records, released 2015. It almost looks like a Blue Note in a way. It's got a nice disc there. I mean, it's going to be what it looks like it is, which is very competent or better jazz. Mark Elf Return, or Mark Elf Returns, 2014 on Djembe Records. 2014, Djembe Records. It's a quintet of guys here. Mark Elf is a guitarist. I got 10 tracks on this. You can see that there. Nice disc. What can I say? Look at that. Tremendous. Brian Blade and the Fellowship Band, Landmarks. This is on Mid-City Records from 2014. I'm not going to get the disc out because this is a fold-out album. I'm not sure about what the personnel are doing on that, but I'm going to take a chance. Brad Allen Williams. Looks like a trio. Lamar. Is that the name of the album? Lamar. Brad Allen Williams, Lamar. On what label? Sound Different Music, 2015. There's a couple of the guys there. Really nice design. Had to take a chance on that, and I don't think I'm taking much of a chance. I bet 100% of this stuff is great. My light just went out on me. Hold on. You know what? I think we can soldier through without that light. I think we got enough light to finish this. I've only got about half dozen discs left here. So we got Arbors Records 2018. James Suggs, You're Gonna Hear From Me. Houston Person is also on this. Looks like he's a trumpet player. I believe so. There it is. Not really going to go into that one too much. We need to finish this up, guys. We got a well-known player, Ernie Watts, Quartet, A Simple Truth, right here. Flying Dolphin Records, 2014. Looks like, I mean, Ernie Watts on sax. There he is. I mean, this is going to be reliable as hell. Music. I'm sure there's not going to be anything wrong with this. Again, there's the guys in the quartet. Got a Dizzy Gillespie song on here. Keith Jarrett song on this. I mean, I'm kind of speechless. This is one of the greatest buys of my life. Like, this jazz buy right here is just, it's peerless. We got a duo of Jason Miles and Ingrid Jensen on keyboards and trumpet here. This album's called Kind of New. Now, actually, I think there's a bunch of players on this because Jeff Coffin is on here. Jeff Coffin's very prominent. Bunch of other well-known musicians on this, so it must be a band thing, or maybe they have different ensembles. But these are the headliners, Miles and Jensen. This is on Wailing City Sound. I've got 2 albums on that label in this haul. 2015. That's a really striking design with that building there, that modern building. And they kind of use that motif throughout in the package art. Very attractive. But the most important thing is the music, which is almost certainly going to be good. So Dave Bass, New York City Sessions with Phil Woods, Karen Allison, and a bunch of other people here. 2015 Wailing City Sound. Looks like some standards on this. My Foolish Heart, Dark Eyes. And I'm not sure who's playing what on this. It doesn't really matter. It's going to be awesome. And we're about to bring up the rear here. We got 3 more items. Steve Tressler Group Center Song featuring Ingrid Jensen. Another Ingrid Jensen session here. Steve Tressler on sax, Ingrid Jensen on trumpet, and then 6 or 7 other people. This is CMA Records? Yes, CMA Records, 2013. And there's the disc. There's the group in performance right there. Looks like a pretty big ensemble, and that's going to be great. Looks like a crack session there. Pacific Jazz, Claire Fisher Big Band, directed by Brent Fisher on Clavo Records. Clavo, or yeah, it's CLAVO, 2014. Looks like there's all kinds of stuff on here, including a Beatles cover. And look at that. Yeah, that's a big ensemble. Look at that there. So it's big band jazz. Got a Gershwin on here, a bunch of standards. Cottontail by Ellington. Wow. Beautiful. $1. Unbelievable. And this is the last one I got here. Brian Paresci and the BP Express. This one's called Brian Paresci and the BP Express. 2014 Brian Paresci music. And it looks like some standards on here. I Cover the Waterfront. He's a trumpet player. And there's a bunch of other players listed in here, about 10 of them. So that's going to be kind of a big band sound. There's the players. So I'm sure all dedicated musicians. And that's it. Here they are. And then I've got these 3 right here. 38 discs. $38, $34 after discount. What can I say? That's what you look for. You know, I'm a jazz nut, and this is the kind of jazz I like, especially contemporary jazz. And I don't mean necessarily fusion. This is traditional jazz. But, you know, there's a new kind of aspect or swing to new jazz. There's a new kind of ethereal sound that's in the mix, and the sound recording is so good now for jazz. So this is going to be quite a week listening to these, and now that they're all cleaned up and I'm ready to go, and that's it. I'm not going to keep you anymore. That's a Half Price Books haul today, August 9th, 2024. Outer Galaxy Lounge here. Enjoy your jazz. Enjoy whatever you like. Take care.